What's good, people? Thank you for choosing Total Payout Podcast, chilling with your host, Trouble. Today's date, April 15th, 2026. Second day of the play-in tournament. Let's go. Got both games on deck. Got Orlando versus Philly. We got Golden State versus the Clippers. Should be two decent good games. We're gonna go ahead and get to the Philly game first. We got Orlando versus Philly. Philly won season series 2-1. Head-to-head last 10. Philly 6-4 straight up last 10. Philly 7-3 against the spread last 10, and the under is 6-4 last 10. Orlando profile 4-2 against the spread last 6. 5-1 straight up last 6. But they're 3-8 against the spread last 11 versus Philly, and 5-15 straight up last 20 versus Philly. Now Philly's 1-4 against the spread last 5. 7-2 straight up last 9 at home. 5-1 against the spread last 6 at home versus Orlando, and 6-2 against the spread last 8 as a favorite. Now, handicapping this game, my personal line, I got Philly -3, total at 231. Kind of tough in this game, man. Orlando kind of laid an egg their last game against Boston. Against Boston backups pretty much. So nobody's high on Orlando right now, man. Desmond Bain to me pretty much was the catalyst in that game. 8 points. The usual suspects stepped up in that game. Jalen Suggs, Franz had about a dub. I think Suggs had a dub, and I think Paolo had a dub. But when you got Bain putting up only 8 points, and he should be up there in the 20 range. And if Jalen can, Jalen didn't have to put up 23, but he did. And even though he did replace Bain, I think Bain putting up that 20 would have made a big difference. He owes Orlando one. Obviously, we got no Embiid in Philly. I think that's gonna matter. Reason why, in my opinion, without Embiid, Paul George won't get them open looks that he would get with Embiid getting doubled in a game like this. Because, even though you got Wendell Carter down there, he can't stop Embiid. So, no double teams. To me, Paul George is a little older now. That leaves Maxey pretty much to go out there and get those buckets. Maybe VJ to go out there and get those buckets on his own. But Paul George, can he go get those buckets as well on his own? Because to me, his surge at the end of the season, most of the time was with Joel in the lineup, and he's out there spotting up, hitting those jumpers, one dribble pull-ups. So will he get those same one dribble pull-ups with Andre Drummond in the lane? So I don't know, man. I'm thinking Orlando might go ahead and money line them. They obviously should have been better than Philly rated out during the season. They they played under what they were supposed to be slated at. A lot of injuries. Philly, man, I don't know how to really look at Philly. They had a way better record than they had a better record than where they're at right now. I think they're like 8 games over 500, but they're in the play-in tournament. Joel Embiid was out. Obviously, Paul George had the steroid and plus an injury, so they traded their rookie. It's tough, man, when I'm looking at it. They traded their second-year player, but it's tough when I'm looking at Philly, man. I don't know how to gauge them. They had certain pockets of the season where they just look horrible, and then they had certain pockets of the season where they look good. Orlando had probably more pockets of the season where they look horrible than Philly, and they probably had maybe one good instance where they looked like, okay, they coming on. It was more towards the latter part of the season. Like I said, you can't get that last game of the season out of your head because it was so recent. But I think no Embiid in this game is going to matter, because I just think that Embiid draws double teams. Without them double teams, you're going to have Philly playing a lot of one-on-one basketball, and I don't like the prospects that they have playing one-on-one basketball. If we're going to play one-on-one basketball, I'd rather have the prospects over there in Orlando without Embiid over there, because Paolo can go get his shot. The key matchup in this game for me is going to be Jalen Suggs and Maxey. Obviously Suggs is a great defender. He's not that much of a scorer, so his game is going to be to limit Maxey to as many shots without hitting as low as possible. So we know Maxey going to jack him up, no Embiid. So if you can have Maxey take 25 shots and get under 30 points, that's a win for Jalen Suggs. And Jalen Suggs can still put up a dub, and then you get Desmond Bain to come out there and put up that dub, and then everybody else shows up. That's a win. I think without Embiid, once again, Orlando is that much deeper without Embiid. Just because I just don't trust nobody else to create outside of Maxey and maybe VJ on that team. It just is what it is. So go ahead and give me Orlando +2 in that game. Now the second game we're going to handicap is going to be Golden State versus the Clippers. Now this is a kind of, I think they play like maybe the last game of the season as well. Golden State versus the Clippers. I think Clippers beat them by 5. Head to head last 10, Clippers 9-1 straight up last 10. 9-1 against the spread last 10, under 7-3 last 10. Golden State 1-7 straight up last 8, 1-6 against the spread last 7 away from home, 0-5 against the spread last 5 away versus the Clippers, and 17-24 against the spread away from home overall. Now the Clippers are 3-6 against the spread last 9, but they're 8-4 straight up last 12. They're 3-7 against the spread last 10 versus the West, and they're 22-19 against the spread at home. Now my personal line, I got the Clippers at the -3, total around 228. It's kind of tough in this game, man, because like I said, they just played a couple days ago. Clippers won by 5. You had Steph Curry come back. You know, he looked like he was kind of rusty, but it's Steph Curry. You know, you could trust Steph to get it in, especially in the playoffs. He gonna put him up. Not to say he dominates and he does 50-point games and all that, but I expect Steph to come out here and put up them shots. He only got so many playoffs left in him, so I expect him to cherish this moment. But with that said, I'm gonna take the Clippers -5.5, man. I think Golden State, it's just a horrible season for them, man. I think they would have been better off pulling off a James Wiseman type tank where they could have possibly had a chance to get a #1 seed again. The basketball guys, Adam Silver, go ahead and bless the Warriors with a #1 pick again because the market. I would have expected that, but it is what it is. I don't expect them to win this game. Clippers, not necessarily. I'm not high on the Clippers, but I'm lower on the Warriors than I am as far as me not being as high on the Clippers. So go ahead and give me the Clippers -5.5 in this game. They should blow out the Warriors. It might be good in the first half, decent game, but I expect at the end of the game the Clippers take them serious and get them out of there real quick and send Steph Curry and Draymond Green them home. Like I said, they've been dominating the Warriors lately, man. 9-1 straight up last 10, 9-1 against the spread last 10. So it's like, I don't have no faith in the Warriors in that scenario. So let's go ahead and recap the games that we got today. We got Orlando. We got +2. I'm taking the money line in this game, and I expect Orlando to go ahead and show up and pay their fans back and pay us bettors back for this horrible season they had, and go ahead and at least think this one game matters enough for them to go ahead and take out a Philly team without Joel Embiid. Philly needs to do some regrouping, and I just think Orlando is a little bit ahead of them right now as far as the building. They got a little bit more cohesion on their team. I like Philly. I like a couple players over there, but I just think Orlando got a little bit more cohesion right now. And then we're going with the Clippers to go ahead and smack Golden State Warriors. Hate to say it, but Golden State, they might be on their way out. A lot of injuries right now. Not a lot of cohesion on that squad, man. Curry just coming back in the last week. Porzingis in and out the lineup. No Jimmy, but it's just it is what it is. Clippers not too injured. Kawhi sat out last game, so he got a nice almost a week rest, so he should be ready to go. They did beat them by 5 last game without Kawhi. I expect Mathurin to show up. I expect Darius Garland to show up. I expect them to do their thing and go ahead and put it to the Warriors and get ready for that next game. So like I say, we got the Orlando Magic money line, and we got the Clippers -5.5. I want to thank you guys for tuning in with Total Payout Podcast, chilling with your host Trouble. Today's date, April 15, 2026. Second game of the play-in tournament. Let's go ahead and get it, man. Please give me a like, comment, and subscribe at the end of this video. I appreciate that. Appreciate you guys giving me your time today. Like I always say, please stay out the way. Thank you. Have a great one.
Hey, Rick and Thad.